Hello, Jeffrey here again. I'm going to be working on a water pump for the Buddha in a link belt LS40 face shovel. Those of you who just joined me recently or within the past year, this all started 2 years ago when I went and looked at a link belt LS40 face shovel 250 miles from home up north of Ladysmith, Wisconsin. Well, when I first went on it and looked at it, all I did is took the spark plugs out and put oil in them. And then a year ago, I went there to see what I could get done on it. And I got there about 9 in the morning and left about 1 in the afternoon. And in 4 hours, I actually got it running and got the machinery turning. And it hadn't run in 20 to 30 years. I mean, I was very fortunate, very, very fortunate. But the water pump leaked, so now I'm working on the water pump, because tomorrow I want to head up there and do some more work. I put the water pump back on it and do some more work on it. So I'm going to show you the water pump here. The water pump has, this is a rubber-faced washer that's spring-loaded, and it has a boot to make it sealed to the shaft. And originally it had this carbon washer that pushed against this face in here to seal it. Well, as you can see, when I took it apart, the carbon washer was broke, and I haven't located one. I didn't look real hard. My plan is to leave the washer out completely, any kind of a washer, and just pack around it with packing I got at a local hardware store, graphite packing for like water valves and stuff. I think it's going to work. I had it in there once already and it looked pretty good, but I wanted to show you how I did it. And this is going to be like other temporary fixes. It should last for a while, but it's going to be temporary until it leaks. Then it'll get fixed. Look for the right material to make a carbon or a ceramic, whatever type of washer out of. So I'm going to be putting that together now. As I said, I got this packing. It isn't real dense packing like I'd like to have, but it's what I got at the local hardware store for $4 or $5. And I'm going to wrap it clockwise around the shaft, because the shaft turns this, no, let me think. The shaft turns this way. So I'm going to wrap it counterclockwise around the shaft so that the end of it is to the trailing edge as it's turning. And I'm also going to try to twist this a little tighter as I go. I actually had it in there once, but I wanted to, and it seemed to fit in pretty good. But I wanted to take it apart and show you how I did it. So we'll try again. The first wrap I'm leaving to the outside of the hole. And then you can see I'm putting another wrap to the inside. And then a second wrap on the inside. And the last wrap on the outside again. There, now it came all the way back to where I started. I'm just kind of pressing it in there. And then that should run against this face here and seal it up. So we're going to put it together once. And I'm not. You probably can't see it, but I can see in through that hole and see how it mates up against there. It looks pretty good when I spin it. Now I'm going to spin a little bit like I did before so it works its way into shape before I take it apart again to look at it. So now I'm going to take it apart again and see if it's kind of formed itself into shape. So there you can see it. It's kind of flattened out. When I put it together, it actually presses this surface about 3/16 of an inch down into this slot. So it's got a fair amount of spring pressure on it when it's assembled. I think it's going to work out fine. I don't know how long it'll last. But as far as if it's work, I think it's going to work just fine. I think it's going to seal up fine. So now I got to make a gasket. Oh, we'll set the water pump aside. Now we're going to work at making a gasket. And we're going to use my favorite gasket making material, paper grocery shopping bags. I very seldom buy gaskets. Make them out of paper, cardboard, whatever, leather. And one thing with paper, I've already worked on diesel injection pump where the thickness of the gasket is specific. So I would mic the old one, see how thick it was, and then I'd go through paper bags to find one the same thickness, because like bags that you get greeting cards in might be thinner, small grocery bags will be thinner, big grocery bags will be thicker. So first here I'm marking where I'm going to punch the 4 holes. So that I can slide it over the holes and then mark the rest. I couldn't find my hole punch, so I made one out of a pipe. Ooh, I just made it big enough there. Now, we'll mark the rest of it. I don't know if any of the others do this. Tap it around with a hammer, and it pretty much cuts it out. If it has a good sharp edge, it'll cut it right out. Don't you think I need a little bigger hammer? I should have a smaller one, but so there. The outside should almost tear off. I didn't use scissors on the inside because I didn't get that cut as good. So there I have a nice gasket. I gotta go find some gasket sealer. I'll have gasket sealer on it. Interesting thing, you can see there's a little, you probably can't see it, but there's a drain hole in there, so that if you drain the water, every bit of the water will drain out of the water pump, so you don't have to worry about it freezing if you don't have coolant in it. So together it goes. Turns nice. Tomorrow, I don't have a light right now, but I'm going to try and get a light. Well, maybe there'll be enough light. I'm going to try this. So I think you can see in there, there's the ends. Here are the ends where I started and stopped the packing. And here you can see the packing is there, and it's pushed that far in. That flange it runs against is that far in, and when it disassembled, the packing was outside the end, so it's actually compressing it in like, oh man, 3/16 of an inch. So I'm thinking it's going to seal up, and who knows, maybe it'll even last quite some time. We'll find out tomorrow, because tomorrow I intend to go up and install this and see about getting it running again. So I think that's about it for tonight.